forget it again.
Okay.
Okay, so you got it. So for the information of everyone, we will be recording this for documentation
Yeah.
purposes. So once again, namasaya, Mark Ryan Langit. It's nice to meet you all. This will be our third meeting for most, although I understand that there would be a number of students who will be joining us this morning. Am I right, Mr. Diga? We're
Yes,
going
yes.
to have how many students are now here? Oh, I can see we are
200, 100K.
127. So around 200. We're expecting 200 more.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's okay. So with that, may I request if we can have a prayer
Oh,
for before we
yes.
start? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
I'll
please.
lead it. All right. So may I request then everyone to feel the glorious presence of the Lord in the name of the Father, of the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, it's again another time that you have provided us. It's another Friday morning. And yes, we claim that it would be a very beautiful day. And we started with this lecture. We thank you because we are enjoying again our resources. We have our internet as we stay connected. We are coming from two countries, from the Philippines and Indonesia. And so we thank you for that because despite and amidst this pandemic, you have given us enough resources and also with enough skills and hopefully with the proper knowledge that we can all share with each other. We pray, Father, that everything that we do, that we will remain successful. And this, of course, is to be able to help these students become our future pharmacists. And that everything that we do from this class and from this point forward, we offer to you, and this is all for your greater glory. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Magandang umaga. Yeah, so that's how we greet it in the Philippines. Salamat pagi. Mark Ryan Langits at your service. Uh, in as much as usually when we do our classes, we make a roll call, but since we are having more than 100 already, we might not be able to finish within the time frame. But I can see our dear students with their cameras. Okay, right now I am browsing the 6 pages. There you go. So I don't know if the others just woke up. Just like what we said, it's a beautiful morning. So let's start it. I came last night also, if I may share, no, from the GPP training, the international training on good pharmacy practice, given by the Federation of the Association of Pharmaceutical Associations, FAPA. Yeah, of FAPA. I have one there. I forgot her whole name, but she's Angel. She's working right now in one of the hospitals there in Surabaya. Maybe I can get her full name and I can share to you. But in my group, okay, because we were divided into 4 groups, she's also from Indonesia. I also had some other group mates from Bangladesh, from Nepal, and then where else? Bangladesh, Nepal, Vietnam, and Myanmar there, and I am from the Philippines. So we were all selected. We are 26 all in all, and we'll be having all Thursdays of the month of November and the first Thursday also of December. I am telling you this because I'd like to encourage everyone. You might especially our students, but of course this can be also for Diga being one of our young also pharmacists. Okay, I know Madam Lucy is already a very expert there, so she's already one of our mentors. But this is open, of course, to all pharmacists, especially young pharmacists. This is given to all pharmacists in Asia, as this is supported by the Federation of the Asian Pharmacists or Asian Pharmaceutical Associations, or FAPA. Okay, they will open this soon, maybe next year again, because this is we're having now the 2021 training. So when you become pharmacists, when you become apotheker soon next year, so you can, in the next years to come, you can also be engaged in such training. It's an international training. Okay, it's supposed to be held in Taiwan, but because of the restrictions, the travel restrictions of imposed by the COVID, by the pandemic situation, we cannot go physically to Taiwan. Yeah. But soon maybe, okay? But I'll go to Surabaya first before I'll go to Taiwan. When it would permit, right? WC, Diga, and
Yeah.
all. Yeah, okay. So allow me first to share my... Okay, wait. I think I haven't opened. I was looking at my... But were you able to receive the copies of our PowerPoint presentation? Yes, to everyone. Sir Diga, despite of
Yes.
the late
Oh,
sending,
it's
yeah,
okay. It's
my
okay.
late sending, I hope the students are able to get it.
I
Okay.
already distribute to
Yeah.
students.
Okay, so I am now sharing. I don't know if you can you see it already?
Yes, we can see the PowerPoint.
Just fix it. All right. So what you are seeing now is our first page, and this is on, I entitled it as Pharmacists in Immunization. Like I have also mentioned earlier that this is already the start, in fact, of our discussion also, which will come on the next, it's not this coming next week. I think it's November 19, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So not yet this coming week. So we'll have a break. Okay,
Yeah.
but this, as I've said, is already the start of our... Okay, it moved on our roles in public health. Okay, but that would be a separate discussion. We'll just pull out one topic, and this is our role as pharmacists in immunization. Okay, so I will be presenting this module, or rather this presentation, to you. For those who are first time to attend our class, our lecture. So namasaya, Mark Ryan Langit. I am a faculty at the Department of Pharmacy at St. Louis University, Philippines, but I would say I am a part already also of the faculty, servicing, of course, with Widya Mandala Catholic University, being part of this faculty exchange program. All right. So you can see right now that at the end of our discussion this morning, everyone is expected to explain, of course, the basic principles of immunology. Okay, although I know you have a separate subject on this, right? Tackling on immunology, but we will have a review of that, and also to explain the importance of immunization, its evidence-based benefits and impacts on public health. And then we will also be identifying the vaccines that are available. Okay, so coming from the Philippines, I would like to show you what are those vaccines available in the Philippine market. And later on in your time, I hope you will also be looking if these are also true, or I mean, you have it also in Indonesia. And that's, let's see, okay, so what can be the similarities. Okay, let's compare and contrast also those that we have in our respective countries. And of course, what is more important, to be able to describe the features. I also wish that you will be able to discuss the benefits of vaccines and address the concerns regarding its safety. Okay, wait, move immediately. Safety and efficacy, and then explain also the proper procedures in handling vaccines, included in transportation, receiving, unpacking, and storage. And lastly, to discuss how we pharmacists can contribute to preventive health through the participation in immunization advocacy. I'm sure with the association, with your national organization of pharmacists in Indonesia, that you are also having this as part of your advocacy. with what happened with our pandemic situation. Okay, uh, we, of course, with our national organization or even maybe in the university, okay, we have our advocacies. Advocacies are things that we would like to push, okay, some practices that we would like to push through and that we would like to be inculcated, okay, or we would like to have this be adopted already in the practice. From advocacy, it becomes already part of the practice. And I know that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, this has called many health professionals, pharmacists included, already to become immunizers, right? And so I would say that we can change already the word here, participation in immunization advocacy, rather than to be as participants in immunization programs and practices in the profession, because that's it. No? It's no longer just an advocacy, but it is already an integral part of our practice. Okay, so these are the things that we would like to cover, and we hope, no, we are expecting that by the end of our discussion, or I have some homework, okay, that I'll be mentioning, that will be giving to you. So with this topic, okay, hopefully we'll be able to learn this, especially I'm addressing this to our student pharmacists. Okay, let's have a brief overview of immunology and that of vaccine development. What you are seeing right now, this is a figure, right? So showing you a timeline on the development of our vaccines. This is in the entire um, world, okay, of how we were able to develop now, okay, your vaccines starting from 1800 to 1899. So what is the very first vaccine that was developed? We have smallpox, okay, the vaccine for smallpox, followed by cholera, and then we have rabies, anthrax, typhoid, plague. So moving on, okay, I think I was not able to remove the. So moving on from those, we have already diphtheria, and then tuberculosis, and then towards the half of the century, there is already the polio, even with oral, okay, polio vaccines, that's the OPV there, and then including meningitis, hepatitis, and then earlier on in this the following, okay, or the newer decades, we have pneumococcal conjugates, the HPV, and then we also have avian influenza, seasonal influenza, and the latest is that of Ebola. I hope, class, I know everyone is praying for this also, that we will soon, okay, be including in the fully developed, I would say fully because everyone else is still I mean, the vaccines that we're having now are still, of course, undergoing complete phases of its development. But we can say already by 2020, okay, that we have also the coronavirus vaccine. Okay, now immunology, of course, as we discuss it with this vaccine development, is our study of our immune system, and that it is a very important branch of our medical and biological and health sciences. Indeed, our immune system protects us from infection, right? And this is through various lines of defense. And it is, if the immune system is not functioning well as it should, okay, our because of this non-functioning well of our immune system, this can result to diseases. Can you identify diseases when the immunology is not functioning well? Okay, some of you might be saying their allergy, or that of what else? Cancer, autoimmune diseases or autoimmunity diseases. That is correct. Okay, and it is now becoming more clear that the immune responses, our body's response, particularly the response of the immune system, can contribute to the development and many common disorders that we are seeing, okay, that we are having. But indeed, the immunology study is very important, and how we would be connecting it are those efforts that we are coming up and this scientific breakthrough that we call as our vaccine, okay? Because with the work, the pioneering work, do you remember? I think this is in your microbiology. If you have your class there of Edward Jenner, you remember Edward Jenner? Edward Jenner with his work in the 18th century that led, of course, to that of vaccination. The vaccines that you can see here on our timeline, right? In its modern form, it is an innovation. We can say it is an innovation from smallpox up to that of Ebola, and now we are counting on the coronavirus vaccine. We say that this is most likely, okay, to save more lives. Indeed, it is saving more lives. I can see there, 1923, we have the vaccine already for tuberculosis. If I may just share, we have uh, one previous, no, former president in the Philippines who died because of tuberculosis. This was when we still didn't have much, okay, of this vaccine against tuberculosis. You see, a president of a country died because of tuberculosis, but now, okay, lots of lives are being saved because of the vaccines that are already available. So again, I would claim, and I know you would also support me with this one, that vaccination, our vaccines that have been developed, we can see now a number of our vaccines here have likely saved more lives than any other medical advances. So thank you, because we have had this. And I hope that we will be able to keep up with this good advancement, okay, these vaccines. When I say keep up, that our students here will become pharmacists and health professionals. And with our discussion also here, that we will inculcate in you the specific, okay, roles of pharmacists and what we can do more in order to help save the lives of uh, our countrymen, that of the public, with the proper use and the appropriate use of our vaccines that have been developed. All right. Now, if you wish to know more of this history of vaccine development, we have the how do you call this? You can see it in the internet there. Okay, so we have uh, provided our source. You can see it down below on the history of vaccine development. Okay, what we are seeing also here, and which I would like to share, would be on the expanded program on immunization that we are having here in the country. Again, I would like to encourage you to read also, to look and to research on what is the EPI, or the expanded program, or your program, okay, in short, no? What is your national program on immunization also in Indonesia? If you would like to see it, we have it here, no? In this, as published in PubMed, we have an article regarding the expanded program on immunization in the Philippines. And again, you can see the URL there. You may search for it later on in the internet. So it started the expanded. This is already expanded, meaning we have a program before, but it keeps on expanding. There are more vaccines that are being included. In 1976, the EPI started with the polio, the measles, the tetanus toxoid, and this was given for pregnant women. So with the estimation, they have to include with the vaccine coverage and the monitoring of the incidence as well as mortality of 6 target diseases. From there, in 1980, So they have added already in the program the OPV, or the oral polio vaccine, and that of tetanus. In 1982, we have the measles. And because they have been seeing already, okay, the success of which from, 1982 is included from the period of 1977 to 1983. Okay, in fact, they were already conducting twice yearly mass campaigns. And in 1984, they have increased it from twice, they did it to 4 times. And in 1986, they looked already into these reports on the expanded coverage rates, that there was an increase with BCG. It has been covering already 51%, KDPT at 32, OPV 37, measles at 40. And that at 1986, they have already included children under 5. And if you look at that, as early as 1986, we are becoming successful already. And this goes also has contributed to the statistics in the world, that polio went down very much at 83% compared in the 1980 statistics. Also with measles went down by 20% since 1982. Of course, with updates now, okay, with our updates, we have more. Okay, in fact, almost already, in the Philippines as well as in the entire world, we have already eradicated these two, polio and measles. Now, what I am about to start is a video that I would like to share. I know this is not available in the copy that was given to you because it is in a print one, it's in a PDF. But I invite you to see first this video discussion, although you may also, okay, check on this in YouTube. And may I borrow 3 minutes and 17 seconds of your time as we now listen and watch this video, which will be showing us evidences regarding vaccines. We have, of course, a lot of myths that we may have heard in the practice or in the community, but definitely, okay, this is what we, of course, need to do in the profession. Be sources of true or effective information, or we call this as our facts. By the way, this is coming from the Infectious Diseases Hub. So please tell me if you can hear that of the sound and see the video also. Okay, were you able to hear that sound? Yes? Can somebody please inform me?
Sorry, we cannot hear the sounds.
I mean, because I switched it off. Now, can you hear it?
Still can't.
You still cannot?
Yeah.
Okay, for a while. Just, should we do this one? I actually stopped it, but if I'm going to play it now, can you see the video?
Yes.
But there's no sound.
Yes.
Okay, now there's no sound?
Sound, sir.
None. Okay. Okay, for a while. Let me just fix this. I think it's with the... Okay. I'll check on the control. Share sound. Now. Okay, were you able to hear that one? I can see Nico nodding already. Neither, okay, and then Ariza, okay. So let me play it then, and let's all listen and watch our video.
Immunisation is reported to be one of the most successful and cost-effective health interventions in human history. However, there can be misconceptions around the mode of action and side effects of vaccines. In light of World Immunisation Week, we've taken a closer look at some of the myths surrounding vaccination and the scientific evidence that contradicts these. Myth. Vaccines have damaging and long-term side effects. Fact. Most vaccine reactions are minor and temporary, for example, a sore arm or mild fever. Myth. Vaccine preventable diseases are almost eradicated in my country, so there's no reason to be vaccinated. Fact. In a highly interconnected world, diseases can cross borders and infect anyone who is not protected. In addition, these diseases often return when immunisation levels are low, for example measles in Europe. Myth. Vaccines contain mercury, which is dangerous. Fact. There's no evidence that the amount of thiomersal, a mercury-containing compound, in vaccines poses a health risk. Myth. Vaccines can infect me with the disease they're trying to prevent. Fact. Mild symptoms are commonly misinterpreted as infection. These are actually the immune response to the vaccine and not the disease itself. Myth. Vaccinations can overload a baby's immune system. Fact. Only a tiny fraction of your baby's immune system is used by childhood vaccines, and they come into contact with many more germs in their everyday life. Myth. Vaccines are not adequately tested for safety. Fact. Like all medicines, vaccines must go through many steps before they're approved for use. Vaccines must prove to be safe and effective at preventing the diseases they target, and once in use, health authorities continue to monitor side effects, with serious adverse effects being very rare. Myth. The MMR vaccine causes autism. Fact. There's no scientific evidence to support this claim. Much of the controversy came from a single paper published in 1998 that suggested a link, but this was later found to be flawed and fraudulent and was retracted from the journal it was published in. Other large studies have found no link between the MMR vaccine or any vaccine and autism. Myth. Natural immunity is better than vaccine-acquired immunity. Fact. In some cases, natural immunity, meaning actually catching the disease and getting sick, results in stronger immunity to the disease than a vaccination. However, the dangers of this approach far outweigh the relative benefits, especially for vaccine-preventable diseases such as measles, which has serious symptoms. If you'd like to find out more about immunisation, you can visit the vaccine section on Infectious Diseases Hub. And be sure to follow us on both Facebook and Twitter for further infectious disease updates.
All right, so if you were able to get that one, or if not, at least you can still look at it, okay, with our source here. I got it actually also from YouTube, or as mentioned earlier in our video, it is from Infectious Diseases Hub, okay? Trying to get again the, I think we have the, you're not able to get it much. There you go. So that would be our update. You can have a screenshot of it, if you can have it in your notes. It's at www.id-hub.com, or Infectious Diseases Hub. You can also visit that one. It is a little bit more of British English. That's why, or I think Australian. That's why the accent was also here, okay? But you may watch it again, right? So I hope you're able to watch and understand that one as we move to our next slide. Thank you for watching. This is an assignment, a homework that I would like you to do also. Okay, I don't know with Sir Diga if you'd like to have this be passed, but let's can you show what you have learned with your knowledge with your other classes. Okay, have now this assignments, okay, on employing now, okay, your knowledge on anatomy and physiology as well as on microbiology. Kindly answer this task, that is to differentiate the two major types of immune responses. So what are the two major types of immune responses? And with this, you're going to provide at least 3 bases of comparison. So that's why you have a criterion there. So you can have, I leave it, of course, to you and with your sources of information. And then you now make, okay, one immune response and then another immune response. I think by now you have an idea, right, on what are the immune responses or the two major types of immune responses that we are referring to here. Okay, if I can whisper it to you, you have your natural and your adopted or adaptive immunity. Okay, or in some books they would refer to it as your innate, okay, innate or natural immunity, and we have your adapted or adaptive immunity. So with these two responses, okay, I know there would be more specific. That's why I mentioned this, the two major types of your responses. Then you make now your criteria, okay, provide three, at least three bases of comparison so that you are going to be able to review again this immune responses, okay? So please be ready with that and go over your notes for you to prepare. Now, as we move on, here comes now our roles of pharmacists, our roles in immunization. Of course, as pharmacists, we are expected to be preventing the diseases by advocating and administering immunization. So it is not enough that we take part in the administration of vaccines, of immunization, of vaccines, that is, but we have to advocate on it also, meaning we believe in these vaccines, we believe in what we would like, what we are pushing for, okay? And that is, we have an advocacy towards it. And also, it is expected that as we partake in this immunization, okay, in the community, that we as pharmacists should also have a good understanding of the legal and professional mechanisms, right? And so that with these two, okay, specific roles in immunization, we would be able to prevent these diseases or infection. Hence the circle that you are seeing right now, also part of our figure. It says here that annually, vaccine preventable infections and diseases kill more people across the world than that of breast cancer, of HIV or AIDS, or even that of accidents. So we would like to prevent these diseases. And what are we going to use? We have our vaccines. And with that, we will be having these specific roles. So please do take it by heart and also in mind that this is what we are going to do. We will prevent the diseases by having our advocacy in immunization, and of course, okay, taking part in the administration of vaccines. And do not also forget that you should always have in mind, in your heart, the legal and the professional mechanisms. Okay, what you're seeing right now in front of you, we have a table here showing you how a community may report of the different vaccine preventable diseases. Like for measles, okay, we have here a description of how measles may be reported in the community as a suspected one, like it is when a person with fever or maculopapular rash can also have cough, have coryza or runny nose, and conjunctivitis or red eyes. From there, it can be suspected, from a suspected measles, okay, you can see it becomes a clinical measles, or when the suspected case becomes more, okay, given already the different symptoms, okay, and also laboratory findings. Until it becomes confirmed, it can also be the epidemiologically linked measles if it is already happening in the entire community. And then we have a laboratory confirmed rubella and also a discarded non-measles, including also, aside from
After going over the table.
okay, sorry. After that of the neonatal, after the measles, we also have the neonatal tetanus. Okay. fix this one, because I was not able to remove. In fact, I use these notes with the time as well as that of the sound. Okay. Just this is just a review first. Not a review, but okay. So we're here. So aside from measles, we also have the neonatal tetanus. Okay, so what is a neonatal tetanus? We have them already on your notes. And just to have a brief description, you can see there that we do have a clinically confirmed neonatal tetanus. Neonatal because it occurs with the children who are less than 28 days of life, those that we call the newborn. So they may develop this, or they may acquire this tetanus infection. Okay, can you see it there? They may suffer from stiffness or muscle rigidity. They can have spasms also. They have clenched fists or feet, pursed lips, and even curved back. It would be a very sad sight to see our neonates having this, and we would like to eradicate this one. There is, in fact, of course, our vaccine against this. Then next, we have the other conditions like your diphtheria, there's pertussis, and acute flaccid paralysis. So again, with your notes there, you may study, you may see the different description when it can be a probable case, when they are suspecting this in the community, until it would be described as a confirmed case also. Okay, or those that would be confirmed through laboratory, not only of signs and symptoms. If you wish to know more, okay, you can also research this. This is available in the internet, but I have adopted this, okay, from the reports coming from the Philippine Department of Health, okay, because these are our vaccine preventable diseases. I'm sure, again, no, I will repeat this, that in Indonesia, you have this also available, and this, we treat it as vaccine preventable diseases. I would always emphasize this in all classes that I have, that yes, we have the emergence of these diseases, but what is also relevant and what is important is that we have to know and understand that these are preventable. Okay, that we do have already the proper tools. We have our drugs already, and these are our vaccines that will help eradicate, okay, these diseases. This is also coming another source of available vaccines. These are our adult vaccines. Okay, this is an adult immunization schedule provided in the US. We got this from the website of CDC, okay, our Communicable Diseases Center, okay, or Center for Diseases Control. I'm sorry. So that's the Center for Disease Control, a center by the government of the United States. And they have this available. Of course, in our respective countries, some may not be available, or they may all be available. Kindly look also for this in Indonesia. As I see it in the Philippines, we do have it also, okay? So we have this prescribed adult vaccine. The reason why I am showing you this list is because for our role as pharmacist immunizers, okay, aside from COVID vaccine, we are being trained to become immunizers. First, to offer this to the community to be able to give them the adult immunization, okay, the adult vaccines. And then later on, we will take part also in the pediatric vaccines. Okay, this is very true here in the Philippines, what we are doing right now, because this is relatively new. Okay, with our Philippine Pharmacy Act of 2016, a 2016 law has already allowed us pharmacists in the country to take part in immunization. But since there are lots of immunization and since we are taking the baby steps, okay, we are just starting. What we have started on would be the offering of the services in the pharmacy with adult immunization. In the Philippines, we pharmacists, immunizing pharmacists, are not yet catering to pediatric vaccines, the one that I've shown you earlier. But perhaps, hopefully, next time we will already. What we would like to do is we start first with adult vaccines, so at least the patients already are well, of course, they are more mature, they're adult, and that they would also be, because there would be different guidelines when you would be involving pediatric patients. Okay, so I hope we'll be successful with this adult immunization participation of pharmacists, okay, immunizing pharmacists, so that we can advance also with the pediatric vaccines soon. What about in Indonesia? Okay, so kindly research on that one. What are we offering? Okay, what do we take part in adult as well as in pediatric vaccination also? Okay, so please research on that. So allow me to share, okay? Please allow me as I share with you. These are factors here in my country, in the Philippines, that need to be determined in order to take part in the vaccination. We have the legal authority. Okay, the legal authority, that the logo that you may see right now is from the Professional Regulations Commission. Here in the country, we have a commission which is a regulating institution. We have a Professional Regulatory Board of Pharmacy. There is a board of pharmacy. We have honorable officials there, which now serve as they implement that of the law. They do some regulations, okay, pertinent, of course, to the provisions of the law that we have here in the Philippines, and that they would be giving, of course, okay, legalizing, authorizing pharmacists if we can take part in this immunization. When I say if we can take part, hence what you see on the next figure there, the next box is on training, because legally, and this is with talks that we have with the PRC, or the Board of Pharmacy that I have mentioned earlier, we have the national organization, which is the Philippine Pharmacists Association, which are in which I would say we, because I'm part of it, and also as a national officer, okay, I am a board of trustee in the Philippine Pharmacists Association. We were able to develop the certification program. We call it the Immunizing Pharmacist Certification Program, where pharmacists who are interested to become immunizing pharmacists would undergo the training as developed by PPHA, and after the training, they will be conferred of their degree or be given their certificates. So once they are certified to be immunizing pharmacists, they have undergone the training, then they may now be authorized by the Board of Pharmacy. Of course, it is important that as even during the training and most especially after the training, they still stick to that of the program structure. That's what you see also on your right side, the program structure, or how the program on the immunizing pharmacist certification has been developed, because we are looking into the knowledge, the attitude, and the proper skills, especially the skills of the pharmacist, okay, to become immunizers or immunizing pharmacists. So we need to determine the legal authority, the training, the proper training, and the program structure. Let's have them one by one first. So on legal authority, so among the primary requirements that a pharmacist would undergo in order to be trained as an immunizing pharmacist includes basic life support or BLS. Um, because during the vaccination, there can be some incidences. Okay, let's say this can affect the vital functioning of the body. Hence, it is important that you will undergo proper training also on BLS or basic life support. We are tapping here the Red Cross. There's a Philippine Red Cross, and I know there's an Indonesian Red Cross also who are involved in this. And so again, basic life support should be parts already of the training of the immunizing pharmacist. Another is to complete their hepatitis B vaccination. This is very true since we will be dealing with body fluids, with blood here, okay, because we immunize, no? And this is delivered via intravenous and also intramuscular. Hence, it is important that an immunizing pharmacist should also be a recipient of the hepatitis B vaccine. And lastly, okay, that of the important training from the organization, the PPHA's immunizing certification program. Okay, so these are included by, or these are mandated by the law and also promulgated by that of the Board of Pharmacy. So you need to have this basic three. Now let's talk about the training that a Filipino pharmacist, okay, is undergoing that I may share with you. In the training, they would be talking about and again getting all the knowledge and the skills that they need with regards to the epidemiology of patient populations who are at risk, on our public health goals, of course, because this is in tune with the Department of Health goals. And then vaccine safety also. So we do not just simply give it to our patients. We have to make sure that the vaccines available are safe for them. And this, we gather all the clinical evidences that are present. The screening also for contraindications and precautions of vaccination, and the vaccine, how we can take part in vaccine stability, the transportation, and storage requirement. This is an important role of pharmacists, okay? Since I know we all understand that vaccination, of course, is a shared responsibility. It is not only for us pharmacists, we also have nurses, midwives, doctors, of course, and other health professionals who are capable of doing vaccination. But what we mean is that for us pharmacists, one of the specific roles given to us is that we have to make sure that the vaccines on hand are stable, that in times of transportation, okay, we will be able to secure and keep them safe and stable, and all, including, of course, storage requirements. Still on training, what else are our immunization pharmacists be trained of? We have immunologic drug interactions, okay? Because our patients may be receiving other medicines, okay? So let's take a look if there would be some drug interactions or there won't be any drug interactions with the other drugs or medicines that they are using together with that of the vaccine. Vaccine dosing is also important. So how much are we going to give? As per, of course, given by the manufacturers of the vaccine. The dose preparation and that of the injection technique. So what is the best way of doing it in the proper way? Again, we have the ADRs, the adverse drug reactions, how we do adverse drug reaction reporting, and even emergency procedures. That's why, aside from the BLS, we also have the basic cardiac, life support, and the advanced cardiac life support, the BCLS and the ACLS. And then we should also be trained on proper documentation. So we do not just simply administer the drug. There are proper documentations of this. Okay, maybe for those of you who have received your vaccines already against COVID, you have seen that of our cards, okay, when they enter it with the documents, because there would be, no, you would be receiving your certificates regarding this. And so the same also with your records for other vaccines. Hence, we need to be properly trained on how to document that training, the process. And that of how we should be reporting it to our primary health centers, that's PHC, your primary health centers, or to that of your other local health departments that should know when the public or the patients have been immunized in the community. So these are the basic topics that are included in the training of the pharmacist or the immunizing pharmacist. A lot, right? There are a number of it. When I used to give this also in seminars when we still have our face-to-face. When I mentioned to our pharmacists that we are now going to have a start of the training of immunizing pharmacists. Are you interested? So a lot of them will be raising their hands. Yes, we are interested. And when I start showing them this training requirements, well, not that they are backing up, but they all say, wow. So we have to go back. I think I would say go back, because we already have finished this in our subjects, right? But they have to review again, and they have to know all of these things. And the answer, of course, is yes, because we have to make sure that what we are doing in the vaccination is effective, and it is, of course, the correct one. So in the program structure, this would run across the entire training, and at the same time also will guide the pharmacist once he becomes an immunizing pharmacist. The infrastructure of well-trained staff, of everyone, of our physical space also where we will conduct the immunization, and the written policies and procedures. We also would be including in the structure of the program the storage and the disposal of injection supplies, right? So that would also be included here. What else are to be inculcated in the program? We have the disposal of biological hazards, and then on emergency procedures also. And lastly, we have to make sure that everyone taking part in the program are all fully immunized. So before you become an immunizer, you have to be immunized also. For the immunization promotion, there are 6 activities to which we will promote immunization. Remember when I mentioned that as a pharmacist, aside from taking part in its administration, you need to advocate also immunization. So what are the 6 activities to which you are going to promote immunization? We have first history and screening. Next, you have patient counseling. Another is on documentation. I think we mentioned this earlier. And then also on formulary management. Next is how we pharmacists take part on administrative measures. And then most important, equally important, on public education. Again, what are the 6 activities, that we will all take part with or on as pharmacists? We have history and screening, patient counseling, documentation, formulary management, administrative measures, and the 6th one is on public education. Let's have history screening first. So in history screening, so there is proper communication here. We're going to talk to our clients, to the people, on what are the vaccines that they may have received already in the past, immunization history, their vaccine profiles also, what are the specific vaccines that they have received, if there is also maybe a trade name, a brand, or the manufacturer. That's important to know. Like if you are familiar with that of the COVID vaccines, right? There is one that is given on a single dose only, that of the Janssen or from the Johnson and Johnson, while the rest are with 2 doses. So it's important to keep note of these vaccine profiles. And then the vaccination record of course is should be there, okay, that we should see it. That's why it's important that we have those cards, or we have the papers, the documents that are available. Then we have the immunologic drug interactions. Previously, when he or she received the vaccines, were there instances where he observed some symptoms of drug interactions, and that of the immunization means why this person needs to be properly immunized. Okay, so this and more would be taken during the history taking with our or screening with our patients. Next is on the occurrence screening. The vaccine needs are identified at this time, at the time of particular events, such as when they are at the hospital or at the clinics, okay, or when we also have emergency room, no, or emergency records for patients who are below 8 years old and those that are above 50 years old. Again, I repeat, so you are still going to interview them. We have to screen them as to their vaccination needs whenever they enter the hospital or clinics or in the emergency room, particularly those that are the children, okay, below 8 years old, or maybe we can also say below 12 years old. It is now happening in the country. Okay, I hope all over the world and in Indonesia that we are now starting with our pediatric COVID vaccination, right? We have those 12, aged 12 to 19, and soon, okay, they're starting it to also studying the vaccination to be offered to ages 2 to 11, okay? But again, going back to what we have on our screen here, we have to screen properly, interview and document what are the vaccine needs if they need it, what they need more once our patients will be entering the hospital or clinics, as well as on the emergency rooms. Next, on the diagnosis screening. So of course, if they have been diagnosed of a particular disease, if they need to be immunized, so we review the needs of the patients with conditions also. And when we say conditions, we have comorbid conditions also, or what they may be having, what are other diseases that they have, okay, presently. With examples are diabetes, of asthma, of heart disease, even of acute myocardial infarction or congestive heart failure, or of COPDs, okay, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorders, if a patient is with a cancer, of anemia, or chronic alcoholism, liver diseases, and even of HIV. So it is important that we need to know these occurrences, okay, or these conditions if the patient have this or has been diagnosed of these diseases or this condition before we would administer the vaccines. Now, once we are, or while we are already, okay, on the process of it, we still won't stop. We have our procedure screening. So we assess this also on the basis of medical or surgical procedures. Let's say a patient is about to undergo a certain procedure, for example, surgery. He needs to be screened first. He needs to be assessed. Does he have the following vaccines, etc. Okay, so this can also be a way to help him or her, and at the same time, most especially that of the attending health professionals, okay, who would be attending to his or her, the patient's surgical or medical procedures. The procedures would include the following. You can see them on your notes already, from splenectomy up to that of dialysis. So we need to ask if the patient has, whenever he or she would be undergoing these procedures, this can also be a time that we are to screen and ask them about their vaccination. And if they are also prescribed of certain medications that goes with that of their conditions or before they undergo the procedure. And then we also have, aside from those mentioned, we have the periodic mass screening. Okay, we also would be screening everybody in the community at these times. Okay, we can do it comprehensive in its manner. For example, at the time when there is an outbreak, okay, of certain illnesses, if this is a vaccine preventable illness, so of course, like what is happening now with COVID-19. So at the start of it, so there was already a clamor, there was a call for periodic mass screening. We have to screen, okay, people, vulnerable people with this so that we will know what are the needs of the community and how far we can go with that of their vaccination program. So we can do periodic mass screening. We also can do this on schools and other institutions. Okay, just recently this month, in my university, okay, in St. Louis University, and the rest of the region, all the universities, schools in the region already, okay, because I am from the northern part of the Philippines. What we are doing is a survey to our students from first years to the graduating classes. We're doing it monthly. We are asking, no, actually it's not monthly. No, we're getting data weekly for those who have been immunized, okay, with COVID vaccines. Because in this way, we are in fact conducting periodic mass screening. We would like to know how many are already vaccinated, how many have plans, who among them are not yet vaccinated, so that we will also the government will have an understanding, okay, how much would still be provided and would be allocated for the vaccination of these people. And this is also a way so that we can plan on a face-to-face classes soon, okay, or interactions soon there. And then this would be in appropriate areas also where there's no comprehensive immunization program. Again, what we are showing here is when we conduct periodic mass screening. This would, of course, help improve long-term benefits of our patients. We still have another on occupational screening. So we do this with our screening methods. We employ this with the healthcare personnel. So for instance, those who are in the hospital, okay, and other facilities where they are greatly exposed to these communicable diseases or these vaccine preventable diseases. So we do conduct this screening among this personnel. So for example, there is an annual influenza vaccination for healthcare professionals who are placed in the diagnosis screening area. Okay, so those who are at the screening area, of course, they would be the first one who they are prioritized to receive this influenza vaccination. Okay, also for those who are exposed to blood-borne pathogens. So if that is your job, that is part of your occupation, then your company or the government perhaps can also give this hepatitis B vaccination. So these are examples of how we do occupational screening. So it depends also on the occupation. Hence, we have the priority areas who would be receiving this vaccination. We also conduct, very important, the screening for contraindications and precautions. This is to avoid, of course, the adverse drug reactions. So after candidates for immunization have been identified, let us not administer immediately. We still have to screen for their contraindications and precautions. Okay, yes, they may have been identified. Remember, we use the term candidates. Okay, because we are still looking into a possibility that there may be some inadequacies, okay, of the vaccination because of some presenting information or condition for these patients, and so they are properly screened. All right, so where else can we take part as pharmacists in the immunization? We have patient counseling, not only with the medicines that we dispense for our patients, for the people that we talk to them, that we do counseling, but also, and most importantly, in vaccination. We give the advice that any infection risks, and this we advise also, and we highly encourage them with the necessary immunization. Okay, if they are missing some important vaccines, then we advise them. We tell this person that, hey, you also need this one to be able to complete your records. We give, as pharmacists, as immunizing pharmacists, we give the proper information about vaccine safety and efficacy. We also, of course, give these reminders. We have adhesive reminder labels on the containers of the drugs. So it is also our duty, okay, to put the proper labeling on the drugs, okay, that goes also with their vaccination. So for example, if these patients are receiving digoxin, warfarin, theophylline, or insulin, these are uh, uh, these are these are drugs, okay, or medicines that may have, of course, interaction with some vaccines. Hence, they are properly reminded. And other instructions like shake well and take with food or milk. Okay, these are not just simply on the vaccines, but we are referring also on the patient counseling that we can give for their condition that goes with that of their vaccination. Okay. And the documentation. How can we take part as immunizing pharmacists in the documentation? So we should be able to record that the date the vaccine was administered, also the manufacturer of the drug or the vaccine, the lot number is also important there. Okay, it is you can see that on our record so that we can properly trace, okay, what was given to the patient, and the name, the address, and title of the administering person. If you are the immunizing pharmacist, if you are the one who would administer the vaccine, then your name, your address, and the title should also be properly documented. Okay. Now, aside from documentation, we take part also on formulary management, especially those in the hospital. So in formulary management, we take note of the products that we have in the institution, products such as that of the vaccines or toxoids or immunoglobulins or immunoglobulins. I know with your proper courses or your subjects, you have learned these three, okay, different but related products in immunology, your vaccines, toxoids, and immunoglobulins. And for us pharmacists, okay, with these products, we take part in formulary management by undergoing proper training, okay, and of course having gaining our expertise. What then would be the responsibilities of us pharmacists in the formulary management? We establish and maintain the standards that we have. That is, we establish and maintain standards on the quality, on the proper storage, and the use of the drugs, medicines available in our institution, including, of course, the vaccines. We, as pharmacists in formulary management, develop and maintain product specifications. All the medicines should be under the formulary system, and that we choose between single dose or multiple dose containers. That is, of course, with the efficiency of the safety, economic and regulatory considerations. Okay, I know you have discussed as well in your hospital pharmacy, okay, or in your institutional pharmacy, why there is the management or why we are, okay, developing a formulary, or this can be the list of drugs that are available, made available, and used in the institution, such as in the hospital. So since not all, basically not all the drugs will be included in the formulary, what are those drugs, including the vaccines? So again, what then would be our responsibility as we manage that list of drugs available in the institution? We call it formulary. So this would be responsibility on the establishment and maintaining the standards, developing and maintaining the product specification, and how we choose, okay, those containers. Still on the responsibilities in formulary management, we also take part in the development of the guidelines that is with the routine stocking of the immunologic drugs. Okay, so how long should they stay there? When are we going to properly and effectively order and reorder for our immunologic drugs? We should have our guidelines there. And then also on proper storage and transportation, even if it would be in the same building, but you need to transfer it from the one floor to another. What if you are going to go to another place? So we pharmacists should take note of the proper guidelines, okay, and effective ones on how we will store this at the refrigerators or at frozen temperatures. Okay, so it's important that we will be able to be part of the cold chain management in handling our drugs. Administrative measure, have them again on your notes. You may read them, review them. What I would like to say is that we do have policies and protocols in our respective organizations or immunizations that we follow, and this would, of course, address, okay, and this, I mean, be able to address the following, okay? So we have hepatitis B pre-exposure prophylaxis, the post-exposure prophylaxis also, including the same thing with rabies, and that of when we have guidelines as to wound management, valid contraindications for vaccination. You can see why we are doing this. Require on the right side, requirements for employee immunization, why our employees should be vaccinated against measles, rubella, and influenza. We have tuberculosis screening also for the patient and of course to the staff members, immunization of persons with diabetes and other conditions, and what are the emergency measures, okay, in place in the event that there would be a vaccine-related adverse drug reaction. So all of this, we should have our policies, okay, and guidelines, because these are in fact administrative measures, okay? What we mean, take a look in your institution, in your practice areas, are this mandated, are this in place? Okay. And lastly, on public education, okay, why as pharmacists, we will take part now on how we will facilitate in the disease prevention strategies, okay, like for the victims of influenza and pneumococcal diseases. So we can gather them and talk to them, okay, about this, how we would be able to prevent the occurrence of this and share it with the rest. What else? We take part in educating the people by working with public health department. You may work with your local government, okay, smallest unit, of course, of your government in the country, the states, or the national immunization programs. I know we do have our immunization program in Indonesia, the national one. So do take part of that one, and how you would also be informing the public that yes, we do have this program and that you may avail of it. And last is to explain the risk of preventable diseases. We can do this through seminars, or we can do it with technology now, or what we're doing right now, we can have it by webinar. So that's the seminar in the web or the internet. And then we have newsletters, brochures, and also posters. Okay, maybe this can be a good output later on, or maybe one good activity that Mom Lucy and Sir Diga can ask of you later, if you can make some brochures or posters that we can distribute, okay, to the public, to the community with regards to vaccination. There you have it. So that would be the end of my topic on pharmacists in immunization. So as you can see, just to review it, there are what we have concentrated on aside from the vaccine. Of course, I want you to research further on what are the vaccines available in Indonesia. But with those available vaccines, what are our roles? And what can you do as pharmacists in immunization? Because at times, yes, we may have our vaccines available, but are we effectively using them? Are we effectively offering them to the people so that this will be used and we'll be able to attain, again, our health goals? If you do have your questions and other comments, I am providing you there my email address. That's mrdlangit@slu.edu.ph. But on my end, I thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. Terima kasih. I'll stop sharing.
Okay, we are going to Q&A, right, Miss Professor Mark?
Yeah.
Or some discussion, yeah. Yeah, all of students, you can ask some question to Professor Mark. Please.
Good morning, Professor. I have some question for you.
Is this unique?
Yeah, unique,
Yeah.
Prof.
Unique, okay. Oh, your name sounds unique also. Yes, Unique, hello.
Okay, I will ask you something. Which vaccine is the most effective, and how to educate people who choose vaccine based on their opinion and do not want to receive vaccine other than their choice of? Thank you.
Okay, I think you have a series of questions. Did I get it right? You were asking a while ago which vaccine is the most effective. Yes.
Yeah.
May I ask what vaccine are you referring to, or is it in general? Are you referring to the COVID-19 vaccine, or what vaccine? Of
In
course,
general, and in the COVID-19 vaccine.
the COVID-19 vaccine. Okay. We do have a lot of, a number already of COVID-19 vaccines, right? And that goes with their brands. We can have that of the Sinovac, we have the AstraZeneca, we have the Sputnik, we have the Pfizer, the Moderna, the Janssen, and so on, right? Now, to answer, if it would be in the context of, if it would be now that you will be asking me, okay, we have to go back to our clinical evidences, okay? What we mean is everything is still undergoing the last phases of their development right now. No, we're having the marketing phases, and we are seeing a lot of data coming from different countries, from worldwide, where there are presenting percentages on their effectiveness, okay, based on the studies that they have conducted in different countries. Some vaccines had it in South America, some vaccines had it in the other areas, okay. Some vaccines, they were able to provide data of this, okay, clinical trials that they have undergone. But Okay. To categorically answer it, I think we have to consider first what is available also in the country. Okay, because right now not everything is available in the different countries. That's like in Indonesia. I'm sorry, I'm not so well versed what are the available brands in Indonesia. So for me, I cannot really pinpoint the exact COVID-19 vaccine that is available because I might be biased because we have to consider also their availability in your place. Okay, because even if we say that this one is good, if it is not properly distributed in your place, then it won't be effective. It won't be the most effective one. Okay, and I will have to use one statement that comes from the experts also and those who are handling and implementing this vaccination, okay, in the country. They say that the most effective and the best vaccine that you can consider is the one that you have right in front of you. Okay, I would repeat that one. It is the most effective and the best vaccine that you have at this point of time is the vaccine that is readily available in front of you, because we're talking of a COVID-19 vaccine. And then right now, we are also experiencing problems as to the distribution of vaccines, correct? There are still some places where they don't have the proper supply of vaccine. Some of them might only have, this is just an example, some of them might only have the Sinovac and that of, let's say, Astra. In some places, what they have is the Pfizer. In some places, what they have is the Sinovac only. Okay, so I would like to speak as someone who would like to cater to that of the general public, and I wish to remove any biases. Hence, I still would like to stick to that statement. The best vaccine that you can have right now against COVID-19 is the one that is made and made available in front of you, because this is the one that is already there, that has reached your place. And since all of which have passed the WHO, the World Health Organization standards, and I suppose as it entered also our respective countries, your Food and Drug Administration in Indonesia has approved of it, and so that would be also the most effective and the best. But I would say let's wait until we get again the data of everything, because things would change as we get the complete data again from last year up to this year. You'll see next year we will have again another ranking. Unique, I apologize if I cannot directly answer your question, but I hope I was able to provide a good statement which you can believe on and also pass it to the others.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. If I may further elaborate a bit, because as in morning, I want to be, how do you call this? We would like to reduce the hesitancy of the public towards vaccination, right? It is still very high. There are still some people who do not want to be immunized, right? And that is dangerous. I was watching this, how do you call this somehow how they are predicting on what may happen. Yes, the cases are going down. I don't know. Here in the Philippines, somehow the cases are now going down, but we cannot be complacent, okay? Because there are still a lot of people who are not yet immunized. And this is the same all over the world, that there are a lot of people who are not yet completely vaccinated, and that we have to convince them. We have to convince them that they should be vaccinated. And so we have to be careful not to, as people who would be convincing them, as pharmacists or student pharmacists, we have to be careful on mentioning a certain brand to be the most effective. Why? Because that brand might not be available in their place. And that might become a reason that they won't get the vaccination because they have believed in you that, oh, Apotheker Digan told me that the best vaccine is this brand, but that is not yet available in my place. That's why I won't get vaccination. I don't want to be immunized. But there are already 4 brands available in their place. So he would be waiting. But what if that brand would never reach his place, or it would reach their place after 2 more years or maybe next year? So let's give all vaccines a chance. They have passed all the standards of World Health Organization, okay? And so let's consider them all effective. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Mark and Unica for the question. Maybe have another question again. Maybe I want to ask some question, Professor
It
Mark.
would be Sardiga. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I saw the presentation, the training about the training. I'm interested about the training for injection technique. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
for medicine, or we directly as pharmacists, directly to inject the vaccine to human, or just technique about mix some medicine.
Oh, okay. So you were asking during the training program, what do we do? Do we do it with a human patient or a subject, or we do it on an? Well, if I would share the immunizing, the one that we're doing here in the Philippines that was developed by the Philippine Pharmacists Association, we have 4 levels. The level 1 is with, well, this would be more on didactics, on the basics of the immunization. The level 2 is with our Department of Health, which is specific in COVID-19 vaccination. And then on the level 3, this is on our skills. This is when we practice first. When we practice, it is highly encouraged that we get now, we can use injection pads. These are available in hospitals, in supplies, injection pads that we can put it here, and you're not really going to directly inject it to the person, but it is on the injection. It's like a foam, right? It's like a bag. It's a pad, injection pad. Or if we don't have that available, you can also get orange, the orange, right? The fruit, the orange fruit, not the small one, the bigger one, because it resembles that of the human skin, okay? And that's where we can practice. Level 3 is very important because the participants in that training program are asked to practice. Because, this training program right now is being held online. Okay, it is because we don't have a face-to-face. We are not yet allowed by the health protocols, by the government, to gather in one place and conduct the training. But everything is in place. Okay, all videos are present, the webinars are there, and we conduct a weekly assessment of our programs. They are divided into batches. So in level 3, again, what they do is that they have coaches. We have those who are already certified. They coach those who are undergoing their training, and they look into how they're going to mix it, how they're going to prepare, how they're going to make use of the syringe, everything in place, even that of the aseptic technique. Then after passing, oh, by the way, you have to pass because there are tests every after level. Okay, level 1 is with a written exam, level 2 is also with a written exam, level 3 comes with a written demonstration. So you are going to, the coach will demonstrate how to do it, and then you as the participant now on level 3, you are also going to do a written demonstration. Okay, so just right now it's live. You're going to demonstrate it. Okay, not on myself, but you're going to do it on that of the injection pad or that of the orange. Okay, and they will use it. Usually we spend half a day just to do that one. Once your coach will tell you, yes, you are ready, you will now proceed to level 4. The level 4 is the last one, where you will now get a volunteer, a patient, a person, not a patient, but a person already. So this, because you are ready, you have passed level 3, you will now have a volunteer, a person, and you need to have also either a vaccinating person or a doctor, okay, who will accompany you. That's, well, that's part of the face-to-face. So again, we're going to do it online. Let's say, for example, I am the person under training. With me is another person whom I'm going to inject it, okay, and then there is another person, the immunizing pharmacist already, who is certified, who will grade you, who is going to give you now your score, or will tell you if you pass or not, or a doctor. So it's either a certified immunizing pharmacist already in your place or that of a doctor. And this video is being seen also by the national assessors. So we already have a group of national assessors here in the Philippines who would take a look, and they will determine if with the technique that you're going to show, if you have passed, they will assess if you are to be conferred. And then after that, you will be given already. There are times that there are still some lacking, no, skills. That's the time that they will arrange remedial, yes, remedial sessions. But most are passing, of course, because they have already have undergone a lot of levels. Remember, that's on level 4 already. And we will have a national program where they, every Saturdays almost, no, this Sunday I think it was moved, there would be a program where they're going to confer the certificate of being immunizing pharmacists. Yes.
So
They do it
yeah,
on a
really.
person, level 4.
Oh, okay. So they get some permission, right, from government or some organization for doing injection.
Yes, yes, because this is mandated. This is part of the law. This has been approved through the Regulatory Board of Pharmacy. Remember, I mentioned a while ago the PRC, the Professional Regulations Commission. So they have approved of this training.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And
Yeah, because
again, everything should be in place. That's the reason why when they will start doing it, or that level 4, okay, will only happen if you passed level 3. That is, if you were assessed, you are already effective when doing it and practicing it with your orange or your injection pad. Once you are successful with that, once you have the technique, then you can do it with level 4 with a human being, with a person. But then again, you're under the supervision of another person that is already the certified immunizing pharmacist, or a doctor should be with you when you do that.
Yeah, because in Indonesia, as pharmacists in Indonesia, I think we do not learn about the injection for human. So
Okay.
yes, so maybe someday we can collaboration for the training.
Yeah. I think. Okay. So you are also already having the training for immunizing pharmacists, I believe, in Indonesia, right? Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
But you what is only involved is you do it with the use of you use also injection pad. Do you also use orange
I think not
with the technique?
the technique is not learned, yeah, but
So how do you become immunizing pharmacists in how do you become certified immunizing pharmacists in Indonesia?
we do some education for the patient, and when we do the injection technique, I think we 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 need help. We need
Mhm.
help from nurse, yeah.
Yeah. But maybe there's just the nurse who would be guiding you. It's the same with that of the doctor, no? But
Oh,
uh, our national assessors are very strict with it. Okay, on the program assessors, I have to tell you they're really strict with it because they, let's say we only have 100 individuals per batch, but per 100 individuals, they will be grouped. Okay, they will be divided into different groups, and then when even during online, what they're going to do is to spotlight that one, and they're only going to do it one by one so that they would clearly see it, and that they we have several cameras with us. Just right now,
oh,
we don't only have one camera, but there would be another camera that will be showing it, and that is properly documented so that everyone can see it. Don't worry. I do believe with what you were saying about collaboration, FIP, our International Pharmaceutical Federation, have contacted us already in the Philippines because we are one of those who are piloting it together with US, and they're asking us that once we will have a training program, if we can share this one. And speaking in behalf of the Philippine Pharmacists Association, we are more than happy to share this one, of course, in the international scene. And that, of course, includes you, our primary neighbor there. Okay.
okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Professor Mark.
You're welcome.
Very new.
I hope when we get the chance to visit each other's university, when I get to go there, maybe that's the time we can have
Yes, of
that
course, of
one. Okay,
course.
when we have a face-to-face meeting.
Of course. Okay, I think it's end of the lecture, yeah, because the time is
It's
end.
9:10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nine.
Oh, so Diga,
Yeah.
but I'm if I may add, I'll give this to our students then. This is my last question.
Okay.
Because it is usually interchanged the terms vaccination and immunization, right? So for your assignment, dear student pharmacist, kindly differentiate. Is there a difference in the first place of the term vaccination and that of immunization? Okay. They may be interchanged most of the time, but there is a slight difference in that one, which is still very important. So is there what would be the definition of vaccination and how would it differ or from that of immunization? I would leave it there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So, wait. I just confused about the homework. You said the student have homework, right?
Oh, I that is of course an asynchronous homework
Oh,
that they can do. On my part, I'm not really asking them to pass it, okay? But I am highly encouraging them to do it and to put it also in their notes. But it's up to you, Sir Diga, Ma'am Lucy, if you want them to pass. Maybe how do they do it? If you would like them or you would require them to pass that one to you, and you may have it as part of their outputs. But for me, it's important that they at least have it in their notes also, if they're having their notebooks.
okay. Maybe we can discussion later
Yeah.
with Mem Lucy, right? Okay. I think this is for the Professor Mark lecture. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can meet again in 19 November, right?
November 19th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
November
So
19th. Sorry.
we'll be skipping one Friday then. Because
Yeah.
next Friday is 12. That would be on the 19th. Yeah, no
Okay,
problem.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be looking forward to that one. Thank you very much to everyone, 100. So minus the three of us, 131 students
Yeah,
here, plus Ma'am
maybe.
Lucy, of course, and Sir
Thank you so
Dita.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Terima
Maraming
thank you.
salamat.
kasih.